In the Arctic, warmth is survival. With freezing winds and temperatures cold enough to steal your breath, staying warm isn't just about comfort, it's the key to staying alive. Yet, for generations, the Inuit have mastered the cold using only what nature provides. Without modern heating or high-tech gear, they've developed smart and effective ways to keep warm in one of the coldest places on Earth. Let's see how the Inuits do it. So, how can igloos provide warmth and comfort to the Inuits? While it may seem unusual that a structure made of snow can keep people from freezing, the insulating properties of snow, combined with the clever design of an igloo, make it highly effective in trapping heat and creating a livable space in extreme cold. An igloo stays warm by preventing heat loss. Snow, though frozen, contains countless tiny air pockets that act as insulation. These air pockets slow down the transfer of heat, stopping warmth from escaping while blocking cold air from entering. Even in Arctic conditions where outside temperatures can drop as low as -degrees Fahrenheit or lower, an igloo can maintain an internal temperature near 32 degrees Celsius, simply by utilizing body heat and small heat sources such as an oil lamp. This difference in temperature is crucial for survival in such extreme environments. Aside from that, the human body constantly produces heat, which is lost to the surroundings through radiation, convection, and conduction. In an igloo, this heat is trapped inside, warming the air within the structure. Since warm air is lighter than cold air, it rises. The design of an igloo takes advantage of this by including raised sleeping areas, allowing people to rest in the warmest section of the shelter. The igloo entrance is built lower than the cold air naturally sinks and remains in the lower sections, keeping the upper part of the igloo relatively warm. Another is the type of snow used to build an igloo, which significantly impacts its insulating ability. Freshly fallen snow is too loose and powdery, making it a poor insulator and structurally weak. Instead, compacted snow is used because it contains just the right amount of air pockets to trap heat while being sturdy enough to hold its shape. Unlike solid ice, which is dense and allows heat to escape easily, compacted snow is more effective at trapping warmth. Over time, the inner walls of the igloo absorb moisture from the occupant's breath, which refreezes, creating an even stronger barrier that seals gaps and prevents heat from leaking out. The dome-shaped design of an igloo is not just for stability, it also helps regulate heat. Because a dome has no sharp corners, there are fewer points where heat can escape. The shape evenly distributes pressure, making the structure strong enough to withstand harsh winds and heavy snowfall. Another key design feature is the small ventilation hole at the top of the igloo. This prevents the buildup of carbon dioxide from human respiration and ensures proper airflow while still maintaining warmth inside. Constructing an igloo requires skill and experience. Builders cut compacted snow into blocks and arrange them in a spiral, tilting each block slightly inward. This self-supporting structure does not require additional reinforcement, and a properly built igloo can even support the weight of a person standing on top. A skilled Inuit builder can construct an igloo in just a few hours, making it a highly efficient shelter for hunting trips and temporary winter homes. Over generations, the technique has been perfected to maximize warmth, durability, and efficiency. The principles that keep an igloo warm are similar to those used in modern home insulation. In homes, materials like fiberglass, foam, and mineral wool trap air to prevent heat from escaping. Similarly, an igloo relies on air pockets within the snow to retain warmth. Proper insulation in homes reduces energy consumption by keeping heated or cooled air inside. The igloo is a remarkable example of human adaptation to extreme environments. By using only naturally available materials, the Inuit created an effective shelter that provides warmth and protection from the freezing Arctic cold. The science behind igloos demonstrates the importance of insulation and heat retention, principles that continue to influence modern architecture and energy conservation today. From understanding how igloos provide warmth, we now move to another essential element of Inuit survival in the Arctic, the qulliq. With no trees for firewood, the Inuit relied on available resources, primarily animal fat, to generate heat. The qulliq, a traditional oil lamp, was much more than just a light source. It was a vital tool for heating, cooking, and maintaining daily life in one of the coldest environments on Earth. The qulliq is a shallow, bowl-shaped lamp, traditionally carved from soapstone and fueled by seal or whale fat. A wick, made from dried moss or Arctic cotton, was placed along the lamp's edge and adjusted to control the flame. This design ensured a steady and efficient burn, producing minimal smoke, an important feature for enclosed spaces like igloos. A single qulliq was powerful enough to raise the temperature inside an igloo, turning a freezing shelter into a more livable space. When arranged strategically, multiple qulliqs could create a warm and comfortable home, even in extreme sub-zero conditions. The qulliq was also crucial for cooking, melting ice and snow for drinking water, and drying clothing, essential tasks for survival in the Arctic, where wet clothes could be life-threatening. The qulliq was more than just a tool. It played a central role in Inuit culture and daily life. Women were primarily responsible for tending to the qulliq, carefully adjusting the wick to control the flame's intensity and ensuring fuel efficiency. This skill was passed down through generations, making it an integral part of Inuit tradition. A well-maintained qulliq could burn continuously for weeks, requiring only 1 to 2 cups of oil per day. It was often placed at the center of the living space, serving as a gathering point where families prepared meals, shared stories, and warmed themselves. The qulliq symbolized life and survival, reinforcing the importance of community and resourcefulness in Inuit society. The qulliq was also known as the qudliq and functioned in the same way. It was essential for survival, as it provided heat and light while being highly fuel efficient. The qudliq was positioned strategically to dry clothing, preventing frostbite and hypothermia. In recent years, some Inuit have adopted metal versions of the lamp, but the traditional soapstone qudliq remains a respected cultural artifact. Although the qulliq was once the primary heat and light source for the Inuit, modern technology has largely replaced it in everyday life. Today, most Inuit communities rely on oil-based heating, electricity, and modern stoves for cooking. However, the qulliq remains a significant cultural symbol and is still used in traditional ceremonies, storytelling events, and educational programs. The qulliq is now a representation of Inuit identity and heritage. It plays a role in important events, such as opening and closing ceremonies, where it is used to honor the traditions and resilience of the Inuit people. For thousands of years, the Inuit have adapted to the Arctic's extreme conditions through knowledge and skill. However, climate change now threatens their way of life. Rising global temperatures are rapidly melting sea ice, disrupting the ecosystems that Inuit communities rely on for hunting and fishing. As ice disappears, traditional survival methods become more challenging. While modern technologies have helped many Inuit adapt, preserving cultural knowledge, such as the use of the qulliq, remains an important part of maintaining Inuit heritage. The knowledge of using natural resources efficiently, passed down through generations, is still valued in today's changing Arctic environment. The qulliq was more than a simple lamp, it was a lifeline. It provided warmth, light, and the ability to cook food in one of the world's harshest climates. While modern technology has taken over many of its practical functions, the qulliq remains a lasting symbol of Inuit survival, resilience, and cultural identity. Understanding its significance highlights the ingenuity of the Inuit people, who adapted to one of the most extreme environments on Earth through skill, resourcefulness, and deep respect for nature. From the vital role of the qulliq in heating Inuit homes, another critical aspect of survival in the Arctic is clothing. In an environment where temperatures often drop far below freezing, proper clothing was not just about comfort, but a matter of life and death. The Inuit developed an advanced clothing system using natural materials that provided warmth, flexibility, and protection from the harsh elements, allowing them to thrive in one of the most extreme climates on Earth. Inuit clothing was specifically designed to trap heat, repel moisture, and allow mobility. Caribou fur was the primary material due to its unique hollow fibers, which trapped warm air close to the body, creating a highly effective insulating layer. Unlike modern synthetic fabrics, which rely on external insulation, caribou fur naturally regulates temperature, preventing overheating while ensuring warmth. The most important piece of clothing was the parka, which was constructed with 2 layers. The inner layer had the fur facing inward to retain body heat, while the outer layer had the fur facing outward to block wind and snow. This layering technique created a thermal barrier that modern materials still struggle to replicate. In addition, parkas were made loose-fitting to trap warm air inside while still allowing ease of movement, making them practical for long hunting expeditions and daily activities in sub-zero conditions. The feet required special protection since prolonged exposure to cold surfaces could lead to frostbite. Inuit boots, known as qulliqs, were made from waterproof sealskin and lined with soft caribou fur, keeping feet warm and dry even in icy conditions. Some qulliqs contained additional layers of insulation, such as dried grass or moss, which wicked away moisture while adding warmth. The lightweight, flexible design allowed hunters and travelers to move efficiently across snow and ice without restricting movement. Rather than gloves, which separate the fingers and reduce warmth, Inuit mittens were designed to keep fingers together, maximizing heat retention. The outer layer was often made from waterproof sealskin, while the inner layers provided insulation with caribou fur. Many mittens featured extended cuffs that tucked into the sleeves of parkas, preventing cold air from reaching the skin and reducing the risk of frostbite. Protecting the face and head was also equally essential for preventing heat loss and frostbite. Inuit parkas often featured large hoods lined with fur, which created a pocket of warm air around the face. This design reduced wind exposure and provided insulation against the extreme cold. The Inuit also developed snow goggles to prevent snow blindness, a condition caused by prolonged exposure to the bright reflection of sunlight on snow. These goggles were crafted from wood, bone, or antler, with narrow slits that reduced glare while maintaining visibility. Some were darkened with soot to further enhance protection against intense light. Inuit clothing was carefully adapted for various activities and environmental conditions. Hunters required specific footwear when walking on ice, often using waterproof bearded sealskin for soles and ringed sealskin for the upper part of the shoe. Women's clothing, such as the amauti, was designed with a built-in pouch on the back to carry infants, keeping them warm and secure. The amauti had a large hood that protected both the mother and child from the elements while ensuring ease of movement. Different furs and skins were used based on seasonal needs. In the fall, lighter caribou skins were preferred for their ease of handling, while thicker winter hides provided superior insulation. Early winter skins were used for bedding and footwear, whereas midwinter skins were often placed under sleeping areas or used to line sleds. The careful selection of materials ensured maximum warmth and functionality throughout the year. Creating Inuit clothing required significant skill and experience. Women were responsible for sewing garments, using techniques passed down through generations. Without modern measuring tools, they relied on hand measurements to size garments accurately. Patterns were drawn directly onto hides before being cut with igloos, crescent-shaped knives designed for precision. The garments were stitched using sinew thread, which expanded when wet, making seams watertight and further enhancing protection against moisture. Footwear, particularly qulliqs, required careful craftsmanship. The stitching method used to make them waterproof involved sewing only halfway through the skin with a needle smaller than the thread. This ensured that the thread filled the hole completely, preventing leaks. Seal sinew was commonly used as thread because it swelled when wet, creating an even, tighter seal. Maintaining dry clothing was just as crucial as wearing warm clothing. Wet garments could freeze and become stiff, reducing their insulating properties. Before entering a shelter, Inuit used a snow beater, a tool made from antler or bone, to remove snow and ice from their clothing, preventing moisture buildup. Clothing was regularly dried and softened to prevent it from becoming too rigid. Boots, in particular, needed frequent care, sometimes requiring softening through chewing, a practice that eventually wore down the teeth of many Inuit elders. Although modern fabrics are now widely available, many Inuit still prefer traditional clothing, especially for outdoor activities such as hunting and fishing. Manufactured clothing often lacks the same insulating properties as caribou fur, making it less effective in extreme cold. Additionally, traditional clothing remains an important part of Inuit culture, symbolizing resilience, knowledge, and a deep connection to the land. The skills required to make traditional clothing continue to be passed down through generations, ensuring that knowledge of hide preparation, sewing techniques, and material selection is preserved. This tradition not only sustains Inuit identity, but also reinforces the importance of resourcefulness and self-sufficiency. Inuit clothing was not just a way to stay warm, it was an advanced survival system perfected over thousands of years. By utilizing natural materials, layering techniques, and specialized craftsmanship, the Inuit created garments that provided exceptional warmth, protection, and adaptability in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Even with modern advancements, the effectiveness of traditional Inuit clothing remains unmatched, standing as a testament to the intelligence and ingenuity of the people who developed it. From understanding the importance of clothing in Arctic survival, the Inuits had also adapted their bodies and minds to endure extreme cold. More than just relying on warm clothing and shelter, the Inuit developed both physical and mental adaptations that allowed them to live in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Unlike most people who react to freezing temperatures with discomfort, the Inuit have conditioned themselves to tolerate and even function efficiently in extreme cold. Scientific studies have shown that the Inuit have unique physical traits that help them survive freezing conditions. One key adaptation is how their circulatory system responds to cold. Most people experience vasoconstriction, the narrowing of blood vessels, which reduces blood flow to the hands and feet, making them more prone to frostbite. However, Inuit people are able to maintain higher skin temperatures in their extremities, meaning their hands and feet do not get as cold as quickly as those of people from warmer climates. This ability allows them to use their fingers and move freely, even in freezing temperatures. Another important adaptation is their ability to generate body heat. The Inuit have higher amounts of brown fat, a special type of fat that produces heat by burning calories. Brown fat helps maintain body warmth without requiring excessive movement or shivering. This built-in heat production is one of the reasons the Inuit can withstand cold better than most other populations. Their diet also plays a key role in keeping them warm. Traditional Inuit meals are rich in fat and protein from marine animals like seals and whales. These high-calorie foods provide the body with the energy needed to generate heat. The omega-3 fatty acids found in seal and whale blubber also help with circulation, further supporting their ability to stay warm in extreme conditions. Another key physical adaptation involves body shape. Inuit people tend to have shorter limbs and a more compact body structure compared to people from warmer climates. This body type helps minimize heat loss by reducing the surface area exposed to the cold. A more compact frame retains heat more efficiently, which is essential for surviving in freezing environments. Some of these physical adaptations may be linked to genetics. A 2016 study found that the Greenland Inuit have a specific genetic trait inherited from the Denisovans, an extinct group of early humans who lived in Asia. This genetic variation, which is rare in other populations, is linked to fat storage and body temperature regulation. One of the key genes involved is TBX15, which helps the body produce brown fat. Since brown fat is crucial for generating heat, scientists believe this genetic trait gave early Inuit ancestors an advantage in surviving cold environments. Over generations, this adaptation became common among Inuit populations, helping them stay warm in freezing temperatures. Additionally, another gene, WARS2, has been linked to body fat distribution and muscle function, both of which can affect heat retention. Research suggests that this gene may help regulate how fat is stored in the body, ensuring that insulating fat is distributed in areas where it is most effective in maintaining warmth. These genetic traits highlight how the Inuit have developed biological advantages that allow them to survive and function efficiently in extreme cold. Unlike many other human populations, their genetic makeup supports their ability to conserve heat, generate warmth, and maintain physical function despite sub-zero temperatures. Physical adaptations are only part of the Inuits' ability to survive the cold. Their mindset and cultural practices also play an essential role. Unlike many people who instinctively avoid the cold, the Inuit view it as a natural part of life. This acceptance prevents stress reactions such as shivering, which can make a person feel even colder by wasting body heat. The Inuit also learned from a young age how to manage cold exposure efficiently. Instead of constantly seeking warmth, they use strategic movements and controlled breathing to conserve energy. They dress appropriately, move carefully to avoid sweating, which can lead to dangerous cooling, and stay mentally focused rather than panicking. This calm approach to cold environments helps them conserve energy and maintain body warmth for longer periods. Cultural practices also support their ability to thrive in Arctic conditions. Inuit communities have strong traditions of communal living, where families gather in close spaces to share body heat. The practice of huddling together inside igloos or under layers of caribou furs helps retain warmth and ensure survival during the harshest winter months. Additionally, the knowledge of cold weather survival skills, such as building windbreaks and constructing snow shelters, is passed down through generations, ensuring that each new generation understands how to navigate and endure the extreme climate. The ability to endure extreme cold is not just a physical process, it also involves psychological resilience. The Inuit approach cold exposure with a calm and practical mindset, reducing unnecessary stress responses that could waste energy. Studies have shown that mental state can influence how the body perceives and responds to cold. The Inuits' acceptance of the cold as a normal part of life helps them remain composed, preventing panic or excessive shivering that could lower body temperature. Inuit children are taught to recognize early signs of frostbite and hypothermia, allowing them to react quickly and take necessary precautions. They learn to focus on keeping their core warm while understanding how to protect their extremities. This mental conditioning plays a crucial role in survival, as fear and panic can make exposure to the cold more dangerous. Surviving extreme cold is not just about wearing warm clothing, it also involves physical, genetic, and psychological adaptations. The Inuit have developed a unique set of traits that help them endure freezing temperatures. Their ability to regulate blood flow, generate heat with brown fat, and consume high-energy foods all contribute to their survival. Additionally, their inherited genetic traits provide further advantages for staying warm. Beyond physical adaptations, their cultural mindset and controlled approach to cold exposure allow them to thrive in Arctic conditions. These combined factors make the Inuit one of the most well-adapted human populations to extreme cold environments. Their resilience is a testament to the power of adaptation, both physical and mental. The combination of genetic inheritance, learned survival skills, and cultural practices has enabled them to thrive in one of the most extreme environments on Earth. Even as modern technology provides new ways to combat the cold, the traditional knowledge and biological adaptations of the Inuit remain unparalleled in human cold weather survival. From expertly built igloos to natural insulation techniques, the Inuit's way of life is a testament to human adaptability and ingenuity. There's so much more to learn about how the Inuit thrive in one of the harshest places on Earth. Check out our other videos to dive deeper into their incredible survival skills and way of life.